welcome back to the podcast. And you're listening to the Traveling Pants of a Single Mom. And today, of course, as I said, I got my co-host Tasha.
It's me.
And I have the lovely Elonthestylist.
Hey, everybody.
And today we're going to be talking love, relationship, and sex, marriage, all that great stuff. We're going to touch base on all of that. So first, I want to pay some homage to Miss Elon here for the hairdo, because I got a lot of feedback on my hair. People loving it. People wanting to get some information on how to get with you. So I want to thank you again. Y'all look out for that YouTube tutorial, how to switch. What's going on with my camera? How to switch. So look out for that tutorial, how to switch your twist out into a fro hawk, right?
Correct.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes, I love it. So check her out. She is tagged in the video. So we're gonna get to it. If you want, I know Elon was already on the episode a while back. But tell the viewers a little bit about yourself and what do you do?
Yes. Hi everybody. I am a hairstylist and I'm the owner of the Hair Ministry. Okay.
Yes.
So I do extensions, custom wigs, natural hair. I also sell ministry apparel. So you can check me out at www.elonthestylist.com. And you can book an appointment, check out the apparel there, as well as see my availability and things like that. So
Nice.
thank you.
Your hair ministry, right?
Thank you.
Like that. Oh, so you can check her out. Because you have different. I went on there to check it out, so you can put different things in there. Like instead of having like the hair ministry, it looked like you can switch it up, like the chef. I don't know.
The chef ministry.
The chef ministry.
So basically, the hair ministry is my brand. That's my company. But I also have apparel for beauty professionals. So if you're like in the massage industry, if you're a licensed braider, if you're a barber, I have shirts for that industry. But the ministry apparel is specifically like basically shirts you can wear for like evangelizing. So I have a shirt that says, "Can I pray for you?" I have a shirt that says, "I'm trash without Jesus." Shout out to my girl Tiara. She came up with that phrase. I love those shirts. And then I have a shirt that says, "Come as you are," with like a stylish chair. So it's like a play on words, you know. But that's the ministry apparel. So they're not customizable. But if you don't find your industry, just let me know and I can make something for you.
Okay, nice.
Thank you.
So we're gonna get right into it. Everybody already know Tasha. We had her episode last week.
Yes.
So we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna talk about love, relationship, and just sex. And kind of, yes. I mean, me and Elon was here talking a little bit last night when we was doing it here.
We're so excited.
Yeah. So what y'all think about dating in 2019?
You looking at me?
I'm looking at both of y'all. Like, I need to know.
I'm trying to actually see.
2019. Everybody knows that's difficult.
It
really
Things
is.
are not the same how it used to be.
No.
It's definitely not the same how it used to be.
And I was talking to this guy yesterday. Shout out to Jason. And he said something that stood out to me. So, we had a business meeting one time downtown, and afterwards, Ziggy and I went to the cigar bar, and we was in there. We was looking cute, you know. We went in there, you know, walking through, and he was like, when we came in, he was like, "Oh, okay, you know, they doing their thing," and he was surprised that no one said anything, approached us, or anything. You know, you could see that they're looking, but no one came up. So then he came up, he bought us a drink, or whatever the case may be. And he was like, if you was in Chicago, yo, the dudes would be, you know what I'm saying? But up north, and I was telling him, like, it's different. Like, in Florida, it's different. Like, the guys are not as, I feel like the guys want us to be the one that's like, hey, boo, you know, like, flag them down and, you know, scoop them up, you know what I'm saying? And I was telling him, like, when I go home, I go to New York, it's the same thing. Like, you go out, dudes, they approach you, you know, some as he addressed, not all of the what's the word? Not all of the attention is going to be what you want, but I just noticed here in the South, like, guys don't really do that.
How they approach you. Totally
I
different.
think the men here are very passive, and then it's like you're looking for a certain group. So sometimes you'll find that with women, like, you've been told before that you look very confident. Okay,
We had on that yellow shirt.
yes, that's so funny. But you and Ziggy both have a very alluring appearance, as if like you're. I don't know, like, confident is a good word, but you cannot just be gotten by any man. Not any man can have you. And I believe that the men may not have approached you because they didn't feel worthy. To be honest, that's the way I see it.
But then I see that the most, you have guys that not worthy that will approach you real quick. And I think it's that they don't, they feel like, hey, why not?
Yeah. I don't got nothing to lose.
I don't have
nothing to lose, so I'm going to shoot my shot.
Yeah.
But then you go into a nice place, you have nice guys, and they want to take.
They
Some of them are intimidated
low
too.
key.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to
real
say.
low
I think
key.
they're intended. But I'm surprised though, because Ziggy told us that the cigar bar, I've never been, is a place where you find those men of a higher esteem, where they're like,
And that's what she has said. That's why we had checked it out. But I only went that one time. But I've heard good things about going to the cigar bar. But I've only gone that one with networking and stuff like that. Is really like a good place to vibe and chill out with different. The cigar bar is downtown. You have to. We should go one day.
is it next to Beth's Burgers?
I don't know what is next to Child. I just went with Ziggy. But I know if I see it, I know what it is. But I just feel like it's just so hard now in the dating world. Like it's just not the same. You have to be a certain way now as a woman when you're dating. You have to have like a strategy. I feel like like you have it's like a strategy now. Like you can't do this, you can't do that, you gotta wait for this, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just a lot. And it's like, but if you don't, I feel like if you don't do those things, you're setting yourself up for failure. Like you can't no more wear your heart on your sleeves.
Right.
I feel like it's like if you wear your heart on your sleeve, you're gonna get hurt because the times that we living in now, a lot of women are down for whatever. So it's like, okay, Elon not gonna do it, but Tasha gonna do it. So guess what?
They gonna
slide to who gonna do it? I was talking about myself. See, look at you.
Tasha.
Right. I talking about myself.
Sorry, y'all.
She get on my nerves. So, Elon, get into the book that you're reading because I saw you was reading the book.
Yes, I actually brought it. So, I'm actually reading this book right now called 31 Prayers for My Future Husband. And it's not like a guide thing, but each prayer, it kind of goes into like very specific areas. So, the first one I think was his heart. Yes, so his heart. And it gives you a guided prayer, and then on the next page it gives you just blank lines where you can put in your own specific prayers for whoever your future spouse is. And what I like about this is that it kind of paints an image of what a good godly man should look like. So it kind of frames my mindset as to what I should be looking for. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm praying for a man who has this type of heart, then I'm going to look for a man that has this type of heart because that's what I want, in my husband. So it definitely is helping me to kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel because I've been in my single journey for a while now, and I'm, wanting to know that there is something for me to look forward to.
Right.
So it definitely gives hope.
So that book right there, you have a little part in there. You can pray like, dear Lord, dear God, please, husband, I want you to be like 6'2",
For real.
skin,
Oh my gosh.
Is a little part in there you can pray for?
You really can pray for whatever you want. So yes, I guess you could say, but that just reminds me of my man cupcake situation. I don't know if you heard about that.
Man cupcake.
Yes.
Okay,
So really quick, I'll tell y'all the man cupcake is a list that you can definitely pray over. I pray over mine all the time. That's where those specifics go. So technically, when you make an actual cupcake, you have to have a certain ingredients that you.
Okay.
So you can't have a cupcake without flour, milk, eggs, sugar, butter, etc. Right? But you can also have icing if you want it, and sprinkles if you want it. So those are the add-ons, the extras. But the non-negotiables would be, for me, a man of God. So that's eggs. Non-negotiables, honest. Someone's a family man, things like that. You make a list of things that you want in your husband, and then you make it extra. So that would be, for some people, the tall, dark skin. But you can put that in your eggs and sugar.
So icing would be the muscles?
Yes.
I can't still.
Yes, most people put the physical features in their extras, but I have friends
with making this amount of money.
Exactly. I have friends that put tall on their non-negotiables because they're short, or they're actually tall. I have friends that are tall. Like that's a needed thing. For me, I put my height or higher because I really want my husband to be like right here with me, so I don't have to like break my neck.
Level.
You know, yes, that's like important to me.
So what if you meet somebody that's small? They got everything else small.
Yeah.
I think then that's the will of God. I'm not worried about it.
He like right here and you here.
That's
like
fine.
Okay.
So you're okay.
Yes, you have to be willing to like. So when you create the list, just know that this person already exists. That's one first like mindset that I have, because I believe like the closer you get to God, the more He gives you those desires, like knowing that this person already exists. So I'm not like worried that I'm not gonna get let's say all my extras, but the non-negotiables, you're not negotiating.
You might get a cupcake without the icing.
Exactly. And that's still a cake.
You know it's still a cake. You still got the cake. You just need to get the icing.
Exactly.
As you talk about non-negotiables, I have a question. What about dating a man that have kids? Is that something that's a non-negotiable, or you would date a man with? Because you don't have kids.
Me specifically.
Because you don't have. Yeah, Elon specifically. Because Elon does not have any children.
I have dated a guy with kids, and now I didn't even think about it when I made my man cupcake list. I really did not think about it because I'm so young. I'm not like that just doesn't even come to mind. I don't want a man with kids. Yeah, if I'm gonna be 100, like I'm thinking about it right now. I never really thought about it. I don't think I want that.
And why not?
I'm not ready to be a mom. I'm not ready to be a stepmom or an actual mom. Well, that's still an actual mom, but I'm not ready to have kids. I'm not ready
to play
that role. I'm just not ready. I don't even like babysitting, you guys. Like,
so you're not ready.
Just not ready.
Just for that, God is going to send her down.
Right, absolutely.
She's going to have 4 kids.
Not 4. I do not receive
Listen,
that.
4 kids is coming, honey, and you're going to be a great stepmom.
I say this: if the man cupcake is actually a person that has 4 kids, that's God's will for my life. I'll take it. I'll just know that God is like saying, "You're ready. You can do that." But I don't think
you don't want that. Yeah.
What about y'all? I want to hear what y'all think about kids.
I mean, I have 2, and I'm getting up there. So
you don't want any more.
At this point in my life, I would say that I don't want any more. But at the same token, I don't feel like I'm closed off to it. Like I don't have a boy. I have 2 girls, and I do want a boy. But I feel like God did not. I don't feel like I can raise a boy by myself.
Yeah.
I really don't feel like, me personally. Like even yesterday, Taleen, I don't even know where it came from. Taleen was like, "Ma, I can't see you with a boy," and you can see me with a boy.
I mean, just because
you have girls, right? So
I wonder why she said that.
I know. I don't even remember what we were talking about, but
you to have a boy.
And I would consider that, but that's not on my to-do list. Like I'm in my mid-30s, and I have Sky. She's 4, and I already feel like I made like a decision. Like, dang, Taleen will be out the house in 2 years, and you legitly are starting
all over again.
All over again. So I think about that, but when it comes to that, I'm looking at, dang, in 2 years, Sky is going to be considered like a only child. You know what I'm saying? Because she's not going to have anybody. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same token, I did promise myself that I don't want any more kids unless I'm married.
I feel you on that.
So the only way I would consider that is if I got married and that was something we both was like, all right, boom, you know, I don't have any kids, or, you know, because I honestly meet a lot of guys now that don't have any kids.
It's rare. Actually,
Yeah.
it's so rare. And,
It's
you know,
rare,
you're
but
like
I'm
rare. Like, you meet a woman now and have no kids, or a guy with no kids, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the first question guys ask.
well, she's stepping. I mean, she's still young.
Yeah, I'm only 26, so.
But
still,
you're stepping up into that
Yeah.
phase
You're doing
where
pretty good, honey, because people way younger than that started off. So if you pass 21, 23, and you still have any kids, you know,
you win.
you win.
I mean, I'd be, let me just like reframe. I would be willing to have kids within the next like 2 years. So like right now, because of my situation, like I'm not
You're not
married,
right.
I'm not ready. But yeah, I'd be willing to do it if I'm married in the next year or so.
Well, fun.
Do you see? Do you see marriage? You know what? You know what I'm starting to do. Like another thing, when I was talking to my friend yesterday, I was saying to him about, I see women, older women that I like worked with, and they are like single, like super single, but you can tell that they're ready, like they want that man, but they're like in their late 40s, early 50s and stuff like that, single. And I'm like, dang, you know, I don't want to catch myself like that, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the time where the men, those men that's in that age group, if they're like divorced, now they just got out of a whole big divorce situation or whatever, or they're just married. It looks like it's like a big struggle. So when I was talking to him about it, and I was saying, yo, I see that, and I'm like, I don't want that for myself. And he was like, yo, just think about what you want for yourself and put that in the universe. So ever since we had that conversation, I was like, yo, by the time Talene graduate high school, I will be either married or like at least have my potential husband.
Yeah.
I have a lot to work on. I feel like this is something that I want to see. You know how people say when you start a relationship, or when you want to heal and kind of like say, I'm dating and I'm doing this, and they say, I see a lot of memes. When you date me, I want you to break up with your past. How do you let go of your past? That's something I think I'm struggling with.
So when you say your past as far as?
Because you bring that baggage, like, as
people that you've dated in the past.
Right, people that you've dated in the past, situations you've been through in the past. You come into a new relationship or a new situation, and that whole baggage is still with you.
I think you should take the lessons, the things that are valuable that you need to learn. So it's like for me, like I'm like, okay, every time I date someone, I'm like, okay, that didn't work. I've never been without dating for too long. So it's like, I'll date, okay, that didn't work, next date. I never take a break. I need to take a break.
You need to take a break.
And I'm like, that didn't work. So I just added to the list of things like, okay, that didn't work. So it's necessarily for me, I don't feel like it's bringing, because you do want to kind of clarify that it's not bringing baggage, like you say, baggage. But I do want to take heed when I get into the next relationship or I'm dating again. I know the signs to look for.
But what about, what about soul? I think they call it soul ties. I really feel like that's a thing. Because you go, you get intimate with these people, and I really think that so how do you release the soul ties? Like, I think that's something that I'm facing now, like letting go all, the souls of people that were in my life.
I just talked about that the other day, and that's why I was like, it's so, I think it has to do with just being intimate, period. Like, you get with someone, and I think that's a lot of us women, well, speaking on behalf of myself, like for a lot of women nowadays, like we get in relationships, and I had this conversation with someone last night actually. Like, you really need to know who you are as a person, because if you really don't know yourself, then you can't really know what you're choosing, who you're getting into a relationship with. So if you know yourself from the get-go, you won't even make those mistakes. You won't even move. You won't even, from the time the person says, "Hi, my name is such and such," and they get into the first full sentence, you already know. This is not for me. This is not what I want. Like you said, it's not on my cupcake list. So I'm not even gonna waste my time. So if you find the values in that specific person and you take it there, I think like in your case, of course, or a lot of people that are religious or Christians, a lot of people are refraining, not even Christians, but a lot of people are refraining from even being intimate with people in order to kind of keep that, just get to know them and to keep that part of it, out, bringing on that energy or negative spiritual, on yourself.
Yeah.
But then you have people again, no one's perfect, and you have some people that do choose, they feel like it's right, the relationship is going right, intimacy may happen in the first couple of days, whatever the case may be, it happens. Like you said, how do you
release it though?
Release that.
How do you release that?
It's like
you. I know you're like big, like you're in the church now, and you're on a different journey. So have there been any discussions or anything on there? Please, and
I'm like itching to say something about this.
Yes.
So soul ties are a spiritual thing. That I've experienced as well. So, like she said, anytime you get intimate with someone, you're exchanging spiritually. And one thing you said is really so true. Like, you have to know who you are before getting involved with someone else. Because when we don't know who we are, as women especially, we'll settle for anything. And that's why it's important also to make a list of what you want so that you know what you're looking for. You're not just out here, first of all. But to answer your question specifically, in order to release soul ties, there has to be a spiritual deliverance. I actually had to go through a counseling session at my church. This is like a heavy thing. It's not I'm just gonna never call him again. Like you actually have to go through deliverance, and that because what we don't realize is when we have sex with someone, especially unprotected, but it can happen through condoms as well, you're releasing your spirits to that person, and they're releasing their spirits. So that could be demons, that could be good things and bad things.
Had going on before it's going on with you. Exactly.
Exactly. You'll find yourself with rage and anger that you've never experienced after having sex with someone who, you didn't even realize they had anger issues. You know what I mean? Like, all kind of crazy things can happen. But on the physical realm, backing away from just the heavy spiritual part, in order to leave your baggage behind, you really have to disconnect from people. I think that's what you were trying to
But not even that, because one thing I noticed, I realized that I recently did, dream about someone that I have not even had. I don't even have any connections. It's not like I'm connected to these people in any way. It's just like you connect with them at one point in your life, and years
that
later,
connection is still there.
Yeah, that connection or that something is still there, and it's like you want to let that. You have to let that go. But how do you let it go?
Have to pray. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get in, because we've been talking about spiritual, because we even realize that it is a spiritual thing, right? Because you have people that don't understand it's a spiritual thing.
Yeah.
But because we know it's a spiritual thing, obviously you got to go into that spiritual side of it. So that means you got to pray it off, like you said, you got to do deliverance. And I know I had to do that with Dwayne. I had to sit and have that actually.
Yeah, because you guys were connected.
Yeah, and I was I had to every day, God, Bible, I had to ask to be released.
That I like that. Release me from this person.
I had to break chains. All of that, because you carry anything that they have, you're going to take it on. But let me tell you something. I was just talking about spirits the other day. Whatever spirit you wear on you too, I always tell people sexual spirit is the most, oh my God, I'm in my car driving and somebody way ahead of me, for some reason decided to want to slow down and have a conversation with me. And I'm like, why are you trying to talk to me? So they're waving me down. So I'm thinking there's something wrong with my car. So I pull to the side. I'm like, what is there? And they're I just want to talk to you because I'm bored and I needed something to do. What you doing today? And I was
driving to my destination.
They trying to get out. I had to pull off. And in my mind, I'm saying, you see what I'm saying? Those spirits that still be lingering on you, they're so heavy that the next spirit, it don't matter where they're at, they can feel it. So that's why people attract the same people.
That's
what
people say. Why? Yeah, Kimberly said you have to break those soul ties, and it's true.
Yes, Kimberly.
And I think I'm gonna write that in my journal. What you said, release
me from this person.
Release me from this person. Yes, because it's like we are trying to move on in our lives with the dating, and I just feel like that emotional. For me, some of that emotional baggage, and then not even just on a sexual level, also just on an experience level. Prime example, I met somebody and we're on the phone, and I'm like, dang, my back hurt. Like, dang, you know what I'm saying? And the first thing you would think, most guys, oh, you need a massage. You need me to come over there. You need me to come over there and give you a massage. So I was talking to this person, and my back was hurt, and I was like, dang, my back hurt, and it was like, I could go ahead and get you a massage. And I just immediately was about to blow up, like, what? See? But in actuality, he was just saying he's about to pay for me to go get a massage.
Wow.
But at the end of the day, you so used to what happened? Go ahead. You so used to, I can't stare. You so used to what you are experiencing. I cannot stand her. You're so used to what you are experiencing in different situations that you automatically respond to shit like the same way. Like you don't even see a different way, and it's like because of those things that you've been through, you automatically respond maybe to that person in a negative way,
right? But
you're just like responding to what you naturally experience on a day-to-day,
And the reason for that is because in between relationships, and I used to be just like you, Tasha, like where I would just jump from relationship to relationship. When we don't take time to heal, the next man gets the repercussions from the past man. So let's say this past man cheated on you. You're less likely to trust the next person.
Right.
So if we're jumping on somebody for mentioning a massage, that means like somebody in the past has made you really irritated.
Right.
And we didn't take the time to like, chill and heal from that hurt,
Right.
Because I've been through that.
And I don't think it's like, I don't know if I would say with a situation like that, if it's hurt per se, it's just you're automatically used to men trying to get in your room, trying to get in your bed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's more so like you automatically think, let me get that nick in your back for you.
Just so I can touch you.
Right. But, I mean, what? Tasha, she get on my nerves.
No, I'm still thinking about because I'm like, that's the first thing I would think when you said you like my back. And you just think, And they're like, I'm just going to ask
right, I'm just like, I was ready. When I get ready, see?
Everything is so sexual for men. Like, we are delicate flowers, and I think men should look more at our hearts than they look at our bodies, but it's just the nature of this world today.
But wait, time's out. I mean, we are kind of sexual too.
I'm not saying, no. Okay, hear me out. I'm not saying that we're not sexual, but I think men just have a nature naturally to be more sexual. But I guess it depends on like age, because I know in like your 40s, I think they said women are more sexual than men in their 20s. So it's like a balance. It just depends on where you're at in life. But I think their mind just go to like a dirty place faster than ours.
You think so? I don't know.
You're like not me.
Well, no, yes and no. Like I'm coming to a space. I think it goes both ways, because like we guys will say, I don't know if you know the little sweatpants Facebook page or whatever.
What? What's this?
Elon, don't.
I'm so serious.
This is so old. The sweatpants page, where the gray sweatpants, with a Facebook page.
I know what you're referring to, but I know there was a page for
it.
Girl.
What? The whole page, like sweatpants or whatever.
Wow.
And
maybe you should explain to the audience.
Yeah, please, because
I don't know about
the sweatpants.
Well, I don't know the name of the group. It was a Facebook page that they created, and so guys will go, go in. They had the sweatpants or the gray sweatpants, and you already know. Like,
let me look at that page.
I got it for you when I leave it off. But
Jesus, let me see that page.
But you have that third. I guess they call it thirst page, like that thirst page where the guy. Well, guys, they're going in, they posting them in their gray sweatpants. Girl, I'm scrolling. This girl had one the other day talking about I was praying. Like she said, she was having a Bible study, and she opened up her Facebook, and the guy got on the gray sweatpants, and he doing Applejack. What was it called?
Applejack,
jumping jack. And I'm like,
that's
Lord,
horrible.
I come and I said, girl, the devil is the devil, girl. You should have seen the video. I was looking like, Lord Jesus, take the wheel.
Wow, I can't.
But it's like I think on both angles.
Sex sells nowadays.
Sex sells. But I was telling somebody the other day, I feel like if used incorrectly, sex is kind of demonic.
Kind of.
I think so. Because I feel like, just hear me out. I feel like when people are in that heat, they don't care. They're like, when you're having sex, sometimes you find yourself doing stuff that you would never really do in a clear frame of mind.
That's why I said it's the most.
Like, and even think about
spirit.
Yeah,
it's the one
it's
spirit
right. I
people
feel like
have the most problems with, besides using different kind of substance, but it's one of the most hardest spirit. You find people like, okay, I can cut off of this, I can cut off of that, but sex, because you find people that have been raped or molested. Those are the ones that go out to be rapists and pedophiles, and you know what I'm saying. People that have addictions to porn. It's all kinds of stuff.
Well, what I'm saying, but this is the thing. See, like, even bringing up having an addiction to porn, you have some people that may not have experienced anything tragic like being raped or whatever, but I just feel like sex is such a strong spirit. I don't know if demonic is the right thing to say, but I feel like
it could be demonic.
Like, think about some of the stuff that people do, like in the act of sex.
I was just gonna say that there are some. Me and my sister were just talking the other day about the different type of people that have what do you call it? Not only dominatrix, but they have different. So you have people fetishes? That have the fetish, right? Mm-hmm. So you have people that do the furry fetishes, like they walk around with the little mascot outfits on. You have people. I've seen one. They had the people that do the horsey.
Where you saw that?
Gosh.
I was
watching it on one of those Discovery Channel things.
Discovery Channel.
Don't call her that.
The Discovery Channel.
You was watching it on the Discovery Channel.
It was like a documentary going on. So they had people that had like the craziest fetishes. So one of them was these people, guys. They had like they were dressed like they like horse. I guess something to do with saddling. So they have actual saddles, human saddles. They put them on. Then there's another person that jumps on top and they ride. And they got the cowboy hat on, everything. They be whipping them and going around in circles. Then they had the one that the baby fetish.
No way.
Yeah, there was one man. So this one man, he's regular during the day, go to his 9 to 5, professional and everything, comes home. He has an actual adult crib in his house. He has adult diapers. He has a bottle, all the necessities to be a baby. So when he comes home, he has a female that's waiting for him and he plays baby. He puts on the outfit.
Okay, that's demonic.
Puts on the diaper. And he even pooped in his freaking, guys, in his freaking diaper. And called the lady was crying for her to come get to wipe him. And she had to spank him, tell him he had been bad. Because this was all in his documentary.
But you know what? My friend was telling me about.
So crazy.
Yeah, but I think that's why I said I feel like it's a bit could become demonic if not used properly. Because my friend was telling me something about some, like, I guess the guy was married, but I forgot what the name of the act is. But it's like he has a female that is a female, and I think they're both married. And when they get together, they perform things on each other that they don't do with their spouses, but it's like crazy stuff. I wish I remember the details, like, but I remember one thing that she said was like she put his thing in a cage. So when it was locked up in the cage, he can't have sex, he can't do nothing.
So it's like a little miniature cage.
I try to get details, like, is it an actual cage?
I am done.
Or like, no, for real. And I'm listening to the story like, what the hell? And then you have those sex houses.
Swinger
parties. Like, that seems so demonic to me. Like, people just are out their minds.
Sex is a beautiful thing if we make it
used
beautiful, right? If it's used right, it's a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. It has one of the, you don't want to make it sound too negative, because it is one of the strong, that's why I said it's one of the strongest type spirits, because it could be bad, it could be used for bad, or it could be used for good. If you're with somebody that you love, that person, it could be a great thing. That feeling, especially with somebody that you really deeply have a deep connection with, sex is different from your pounding and your turn from behind, whatever the case, little movements, whatever, little moves. But it's for me, I have to have a connection with someone. It has to be some connection there. Anyone I'm talking to, for me to even get intimate with you, because it's like, if I don't have the connection, I don't know nothing. There's nothing going on. Other people may be different, but for me, it has to be some sort of connection, and it makes it that much better. So imagine, I had I think it was my cousin was telling me this, but he waited when he met his wife. He waited. They didn't even kiss. they waited because they've both been on that side previously and they wanted to do things different. And so they decided they were going to wait. They dated for a whole year. And they said, I was like, what did you do like when you guys, over houses late at night? He said they did no late, no late. So when they got really late, it's like, we're not going to stay at each other's house. They left. They held hands. That was the most intimate they got. But whenever they felt like it was getting a little bit, too intense, then they went ahead and separated, right? They still, okay, you go home, I go home, maybe wait a couple days and they come back. And I'm like, you guys did that. But he told me, and I felt it. He said the day of his marriage.
Yes.
I got chills thinking about it. Ooh, I feel chills. He said the day of his marriage. And he said when she came down that aisle. Look, I got goosebumps.
Woo, you do? Oh my God.
He said when he lit that veil and kissed. He said he might as well would have did her right there because it felt like they had that exchange of sex right there, just the lips touching each other.
In front of everybody.
Yes, but I can imagine that's the more. I just felt it with you.
And I was like, I said, oh my God, he said, you don't understand the feeling. Like he was like, it was so deep. Because he was like, we had, we felt it, but we connected on different levels. So we were intimate on different levels. They spoke about things. They just made themselves intimate in a different way. So it was like when they finally touched, it was just like, oh my God.
Yes.
Like it's deep. So you already know they had like 4 kids and they keep having babies.
Yeah.
Now,
you know what? I've heard that so many times.
Yeah.
Because I have some, mentors in my church. I know people who have actually waited till marriage to kiss even. Like that to me is crazy. I love to kiss.
Right.
I just feel like that's, difficult, but I keep hearing that it's
so
just
that connection
on a whole other level. I heard someone was saying, somebody at my church was telling me her wedding night, they did not leave the hotel room. She just had a moment in front of us. We're like, calm down. But yeah, that's real.
Yeah,
that is real. But that goes into what Elon and I were talking about last night, where it comes into boundaries. Right. What I'm starting to learn, I'm reading a book, and there are things that I'm starting to pick up, and it's like we gotta know our boundaries. Period. Like I would say to myself, "Oh, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that." But I will cross my boundaries knowing good and damn well I'm not strong in that department. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I tell myself like, "Oh, I got this. If I get in this situation, I'm like it was saying, okay, you say you want to be celibate. You have to have something to back it up. You can't just be like, oh, I'm not having sex. I'm just waiting. You have to have something to back it up, and you have to have a plan.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they mentioned in the book was the boundaries. Like, you have to know what your boundaries are. If you know that going to the house to Netflix and chill is going to lead to sex, then you have to know that the date stops there. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be real. This is where I started to say to myself, like, you got to be real with yourself. Because if you go to that Netflix and chill session, you already know, right? You already know what time Netflix is going to be watching you. So it's like now I'm into a space where I'm writing down like, yo, these are my boundaries. I already know, like,
no Netflix and chill.
No Netflix, right? No Netflix and chill. Like,
yes. No Netflix and chill.
Right.
That Netflix
Why is that a thing?
The devil.
I don't know who came up with the Netflix and chill.
No, I don't know, but that's the devil.
Somebody's not even watching Netflix.
So rich. Just
right.
that alone.
Phrase alone.
Because people not really watching it, it's just running in the background.
But yeah, once you have them boundaries down, you have made a real good point when you talked about, I don't know if you want to get into that, but when you went to dinner with your ex, and you know what I'm saying?
Oh yes. Okay, I'll mention what happened, but I won't say no detail. Okay, so we went to dinner and a movie, and while we were at the movies, I had a conversation in my head with myself. I said, Elon, what's next? Because he wants to be next, but do you want that? I had to actually decide. I was like, am I gonna kiss him? Am I gonna what are we doing? Like, what do I want? Because whatever my next step was going to determine the nature of our relationship. If I kissed him, that would say like I want him again. If I took him home, that would say like, we doing this. You know what I mean? So I said, you know what? No, I don't want this. So I had to make a game plan in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he asked me, what am I gonna say? Mm-hmm. So I will be honest, I didn't really fully think out the game plan because it ended up just turning into a full-blown argument. But when he asked to come back to my place, I just said no. Straight up. And I wish I had like more to give him, but I didn't think that he deserved an explanation. Not even deserved. Like I didn't think that it was necessary to explain. Right. Because what I said to him was, when a woman says no, that should be it. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like I should justify that. But he did try me, and I was just like, no. And I think that was a good enough game plan to go from. Like when you date someone, or you like a man actually want to date, we as women should not in our minds say like, okay, he's gonna pay for everything, so I'm gonna give him this in return.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's not a transaction.
And that's what I feel like we began to do. Not all women, some women are hip to the game. Some people are, we have women that are damaged. We have women that are lonely. We have women that are battered and bruised. Right. You have women out there that got the game on lock. They know how to do this. They know how to maneuver, but not everybody has that. You know what I'm saying? And damn, I forgot where I was going with it.
We were talking about boundaries.
Yeah, we were talking about boundaries, but no, this is what I was gonna say. But we have become into a space where we feel like having sex is an exchange for, like, I was talking to my sister and we were talking about something like being flown out. We were talking about being flued out, and then my sister was like, "Oh, but if you get flued out, you know what that means." And I was like, "No, it doesn't mean that." I said, just because somebody flew you out doesn't mean that that's the response. And the thing is, do you know what she responded back to me and said? Well, you must not be living in 2019. Ooh. And I was like,
she said it.
Yeah, I said, yeah, I am. But see, that's the point. That's the problem now. That's the issue. Yeah. Now it's come to a place where I've heard stories where basketball players, flew somebody out and they don't sleep with them, and then it's okay, so you flew me out, so that means what? I'm supposed to have sex with you? That's what being flown out means? No. You providing dinner. I feel like with your situation, when the things went left, right, I feel like it went left, and I know you don't want to go into details, but little things that were said, I felt like like that was what was in return for me taking you to dinner and a movie or whatever you guys did.
And the issue is that I'm glad you said the word expect. We didn't set the expectation. Mm-hmm. So with the whole situation being flued out, we gonna keep saying it just like that, flued out. Mm-hmm. It's all about communicating. Yes. So if you let this man know ahead of time, like, hey, I'm not trying to have sex right now. So if you still try to fly me out, just so you know, you're not getting any, and just making yourself very clear. And I do wish I had stated that. I didn't think it was necessary. I thought that he knows me. Like, I'm not doing that right now. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like even if you make assumptions, you still gotta let that person know this is what I'm about. This is who I am. This is what I'm doing, and this is what I'm not doing. Mm-hmm. Make yourself very clear as a woman or as a man. Like, men should have boundaries too.
Boundaries. I think boundaries is important, and I think that setting the expectation is very important. I think that's something we have to do now. Like, I used to be so closed-mouthed with things. I used to be afraid of turning the guy off because I don't want to do something, and I was more so in that frame when I was not comfortable with myself. You mentioned not being single or whatever, but my singleness was the best for me, because I learned a lot about myself. I worked on myself. Everybody already knows it's a time in my life where I was extremely underweight. I'm still skinny in some eyes, but I was extremely underweight. I wasn't comfortable with my smile. I loved my complexion, but I knew that it was ugly to some people. Like, being dark skinned wasn't it. all the time. And so I had my insecurities. And so with my insecurities, I felt like I can't say no. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I say no, then he's going to look the other way, or he's not going to consider me anymore, or he's not going to, you know, whatever. I have to make sure that I'm down, you know, like I'm down for this and I'm down for that. If it's a conversation for 3 hours, if I had to go an hour ago or 2 hours ago, I would still be there just talking, because I don't want to be the one to say, you know, whatever, to shuffle the feathers or whatever.
That's right.
But now that I'm in a space where I am more comfortable in my skin, I am learning my worth, I'm learning what I bring to the table. Now it's like, okay, I don't care who feathers I ruffle now. Like, not to be rude,
it is what it is.
but it's like, okay, I know that I can say no. And if you choose to go the other way, that means you were not for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not just in a sexual way, it's in general. Period. Like, it's not just saying, okay, you say no to sex. I'm saying in general, it could be the smallest thing. You want McDonald's tonight? No, I really want Burger King. But guess what? I'm going to eat McDonald's because I don't want to ruffle feathers. You know what I'm saying? And
I want Burger King tonight.
I want, right.
I want to have it my way.
Right.
Okay.
So I feel like
That's real.
being comfortable in your own skin is a must in dating. Because if you don't know who you are, okay, I'm not going to call no names. So we were talking about somebody yesterday, and I feel like, from what I can see, that guy's girlfriend is an image of him. I feel like he is creating. I feel like he is creating that person. And I've been in situations where you let that man create you. Who he is who you become. You don't have an identity. You know what I'm saying? Like, where is your identity? When you stop dating that person, it's like you're depressed and you're down and out because you have no identity. You don't identify with nothing. You identified yourself with that man, and now that that man is gone, who are you now? But then instead of learning who you are, what do? You go and you meet another guy, and then you identify yourself with him, and then you become who this guy is. And you know, it's just like a cycle. And with me, at a time in my life where I was just like, I call it serial dating. When I said, okay, Tasha, wait, you can't keep doing this, and I took a step back, I didn't know who the hell I was. I did not know who I was. I was like, damn, who are you? You know what I mean? And then that's when I took the time, and I was like, wait, shit, I'm the traveling pants of a single mom. I'm Miss Black Wall Street.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm this. I can do this. I can film a documentary. I like taking photography. I like videography. I like this. I like that. I like this. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? It was like a whole awakening, like, of learning who you are.
That time is so important.
It is very important to find out who you are. And
I had that conversation with someone yesterday. And so this is off topic, but somebody asked me, when somebody asks you who you are, and I was like, and I started going into who I think I am, and they're like, well, no, those are actions. When you remove all of that, you know, basically, and they didn't use this terminology, but basically, for us, we would say you're just your soul. So when these things are removed, once you leave the body, you're just ball of energy, your soul. But collectively, being in the human body, and as time goes on in life, we take up certain actions, activities, habits that become us and make us. Because I was like, oh, well, you know, I'm loving, I'm strong. I'm like, no, that's not really you.
That's not who you are.
That's not who you are. So I was like, okay, like these are things that because you can change anything about yourself. You know, if you make habits about yourself, those will become you, but you can change them and be something else, you know? So it's kind of funny when you're talking about, you know, who are you? You do have to sit back. And I'm always still I'm actually still within that for myself, because I'm still trying to find out every day, like, who I am. I'm getting better at it, but there's a lot of things, and that could be one of the things that I need to do, is take a seat back and time out. Because for me, I'm not even gonna lie, like, I'm a loving person. I love to be in relationships. I love relationships. I'm just like, God, I need you to grant that for me. I need you to grant me having a husband, and you know what I'm saying, being, because I want to give love, and I want to receive it back. And then for me, just kind of touching base on this sideline, I'm actually doing a potluck with a group. So I have a book club, and we have a single ministries as well, and we're doing a potluck, and we're actually going to do the book, The 5 Love Languages, with Gary Chapman. And you know, those are things that I'm like, I need to learn these things. I need to learn into, right, like, you know, the things, love about yourself, whatever. But anyways, I'm like, I need to figure out for myself, like, you know, just kind of take a break sometimes and just love, I guess, really love on yourself. Yeah. Because I just want to love everybody else. I expect them to love me back the same way that I love them. And it's not necessarily like that all the time. Because people's love languages are different. Some people don't feel like they have love languages. So everybody's different. So it's like when it doesn't work with one person, you're like, okay, I'll skip, I'll go to the next. And you're still looking for someone to love you the same way that you love on other people. But in general, it's like, you probably need to just take all that love in within yourself. Yes. You know, so it is hard, it's challenging. And I will say to a lot of women that are out there constantly wanting to be in a relationship, especially the ones that are settling, it is hard, but we do have to take the seat back and kind of just, if anything, settle for yourself first. You know what I mean? Like, really sit down and think about, what do I bring to the table? And even if you're ready for a real relationship, because we go out there too and date, and then sometimes you not even realize you're not even ready for the real deal, like a husband and a family, like you said, you know, and the fact that you, at least you know these things, like right now, you know, I'm not, so that shows you that you know, kind of, all right, I know what I want, you know, but there's a lot of women that don't know. Like I said, speaking on behalf of myself, there's a lot of things I still don't know what I want. I just know I want someone
it's a journey.
Good and loving, that's going to care about me and value me, but it's like you pick up one person, as soon as they do that, and you're like, okay, it's good, but then you find out there's things it's not going to really work for you. So now that's a wasted relationship, wasted time. If you're intimate, wasted sexual, and you know, you brought that other person's spirit, another body on you. You just wasted everything. So versus just take a seat back, you know, and just collectively, like, you know what, I need to take this time to love myself. And it's hard. It's definitely a challenge.
It's hard,
it's a challenge.
But it can be done, because I was literally a serial dater, and I'm telling you that, like I said, I have learned the most beautiful things about myself, and on top of just learning the beautiful things, you know, I started going to the gym. I started my weight gain journey. I got my braces. I worked on my natural hair journey. I worked on my skincare. You know, like it's a journey and I'm still on it. I am by far, because the one thing I feel like for me, I worked on all the physical and a bit of the emotional, but I feel like when we started off with the soul ties and the baggage from past relationships, I think that's one of my weak parts, where I need to find out how to let it go. Let all that go, and, you know, go into something fresh-minded. And you know what? I did that one time in my life. I went into something and I said, I'm not gonna go into this with the baggage of past relationships. I'm not gonna hear, oh, I'm gonna call you right back, or I'm not gonna hear, you know, I'm gonna call you right back, and I automatically think, you know, he about to do something, oh, he's scheming, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, there's certain triggers, you know, you hear like, oh, and automatic your mind goes to the negative thoughts, like, oh, he's scheming, he's fitting to do something, you know, whatever. I said, no, I'm not gonna go into the relationship like that. I'm gonna go into a relationship. This is like when I thought I was ready to date, when I was in my singleness. And I went into the relationship and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna have no negative. Like, if he say he about to go take a shower, he about to go take a shower. You know what I'm saying? If he about to go get something to eat, he about to go get something to eat.
He took a little longer at Walmart. The
lines were long. The line was like, no negative thoughts. But guess what, guys? Long story. And one thing I will say, your inner feelings are never like your intuitions is not. This experience made me know that your intuition will never steer you wrong. Me and this guy had the best connection. I think the strongest connection I ever had with any guy. You know what I'm saying? I really, really had a deep connection for this person. So I went into it with that open mind, and something kept telling me, like, Tasha, something not right. And I'm like, but what? Like, everything is kind of like perfect. We're doing this. We're on the phone all the time. All these things. And I would say to my friend, like, yo, blah, blah, blah. Like, I just feel like something not right. And then she'd be like, oh, you've been through a lot. This is your first time dating since you've been, in that single stage. So, it's probably just thoughts of, whatever. And I'm like, okay. And I will push it out my mind. And every so often it will come back. And one day, we investigators, we're investigators on a sneak. But one day I went to do some investigation and found that I knew somebody that knew him. So I went to the person. I was like, hey, do you know such and such? And they were like, yeah, that's my cousin's fiance.
Oh my God.
What? Wait, what?
No way.
Yes. When I say my heart was why are you looking at me like that, Tasha?
You trying to figure out what it is?
No, my heart was literally. I don't think I've ever gotten that hurt in my life, because I'm coming from a space where I'm like, okay, I worked on myself. I'm ready. Like, God is not gonna do this to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I showed him that I can do this. I can be single. I can work on myself. I can do this. I can do that. You know what I'm saying? So I just knew, like, God was not going to do that to me. When I heard that, my heart literally, I felt it break. Wow. It was the worst feeling in the world. And I'm like, but God, why? Why? You know what I'm saying? Like, why? I did everything that I felt like I needed to do. But what I'm saying is, I went into that situation like I'm not bringing nothing in it with me. Wow. And I think I got the most hurt ever in my life.
That was one time you didn't have your guard. You felt like you
didn't have your guard up. The one time I did not have my guard up.
And I'm like, and that brings a question too to other women now. Do you think that you need to have, like you said earlier, do you think how do you get rid of that past the baggage and then move on to something else? But then with that experience, you'd be like, you know what?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I gotta put my guards back up again.
It makes you, it's like a life lesson. Like, damn, I just literally said I was gonna come into this like with a fresh face, fresh mind,
right?
No, and then this. This is what I got. And I'm like, damn, son.
Can I ask you a question with all due respect? I just really want to know, like, deeply, like, what went wrong. Because I'm trying to calculate it in my head. I'm just like, what? Do you feel like you asked him enough questions? Like, I know that goes without saying because he should have known better. He should have known better.
I was going to say, did you not?
It was, what I think is that their relationship was in a broken place. Mm-hmm. You ever been, and I've experienced this before, where you're in a relationship, you live with the person, and y'all don't talk to each other, y'all don't say shit. You come home from work, you go on your corners, If y'all have kids, y'all both separately do what y'all have to do for the kids. Mm-hmm. I believe that was their situation. I genuinely did ask, of course, whatever, I'm single, like, he came to me, what I'm saying, whatever.
He never mentioned anyone else at all.
No, girl, let me tell you something.
You said fiance.
Let me tell you something. That was like the time of my life. So I think from what I could gather is that their relationship was in that place where I've been there before, where you don't say nothing to each other. We don't call each other during the day. You don't say nothing. I think that one ended. You don't call each other during the day. You don't say things to each other. You don't vibe at all. Like, I've been there before. And I think that their relationship was in that space where they had no connection. You know what I'm saying? But they were still in each other's
So you
lives.
should have broken off the engagement. Period.
Well, I don't know if they were legitly engaged. I think the person added that. I don't think they were engaged. I think they were living together, or whatever the case may be. But
so you never found out the truth from him?
I did find out the truth.
Explanation about that.
Yeah, we would have known details. What happened?
No, well, I mean, that's basically what it was. It was that it was a broken situation that,
So
you know.
You didn't want to go back?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, because this was a time in my life where I legitly worked on myself. I think the old me would have stayed in that situation. The old me would have been like, all right, well, he's going to leave, you know, blah, 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 you know, I'm going to stick around. But the new me, in that situation, I put myself first. And I knew that regardless of anything, once I knew the truth, I can't be comfortable with myself knowing you're going home with somebody else. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, I feel you on that.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you don't know what's really
right.
good.
You don't know what's really good, right?
Yeah.
So I knew I wouldn't have been comfortable with myself knowing that, yo, you going home to somebody else. So in that situation, that was one of the first times in my life. I think that's maybe was the biggest lesson for me, is that I put me first, because I was really into him. So that was the hardest thing for me to say, all right, put you first and step away from that situation. Yeah. And that was the biggest lesson for me, because that's what I did. Because I knew that wasn't healthy. And I was in a healthy place in my life. I was in the gym 3-4 days a week. I was eating good. I was happy. I was singing on the way to work. Wow. You know what I'm saying? I was in a space, and it wasn't just because he was in my life. It was because I was happy. I was in a good place. And I knew that if I kept him in my space, I would have broke all the way down. I would have been back to square one. Yeah. So for me, it was a situation where it was like, yeah, I'm fixing this, I'm good. But I knew that, okay, you fix it, and when you're done, you come back, if that's what you really want. Yeah. But for me, I can't stay. I have to go, because I have to put me first. And me was more important at that time than staying.
And I think one of the scariest things about dating in this day and age is that anyone can just tell you anything, you know? And what I find very scary is, I don't know if y'all ever watched that show True Life. There were people like living double lives. Yeah. It was on MTV, and it was like, you know, oh, I'm secretly this, or I have a double life. And like, I don't know if y'all have ever experienced that before, but just like, seeing the possibility, like, I will confess something. I have dated someone that I feel like may have been on the down low, okay? And I don't think y'all know what that entails. Like, there's a whole other world in my mind. I envision like a secret underground world. But there's this whole other world of people who are keeping secrets for each other, you know, and leaving, you know, like, let's say they know that person has a girlfriend, they're gonna do their very best to keep that lifestyle away from the girlfriend. So it's just like, it leaves you to just wonder, like, what's really happening? You know, when I was dating this person, I remember one time I was visiting him, and I was getting ready to leave his house, but one of our friends came over that was gay. It was a gay guy, and he was about to cook. And I was just like, what's happening? Like, I'm about to leave. It looks like you're about to cook for my man. You know, like, I think I'm going to stay. You know, like, right. Little stuff like that would just drive me crazy. And I don't know if anybody just ever experienced that, but just thinking about the fact that you really have to get to know people before you invite them into your world and into your spirit. Because that's why I specifically asked, like, do you think you asked enough questions? Because it should go without saying. Like, we shouldn't have to ask, are you married?
Let me tell you something.
Are you in a relationship?
We
then you have people that don't even answer those questions.
Right, they don't.
Yeah. Pay attention to that. If they beat around the bush when you ask those questions, take note. If they're uncomfortable when you ask certain questions, take note. Like, why aren't you comfortable being transparent with me? That's not good. You know?
Yeah. One thing, another thing that I'm learning is like them red flags, like them things that you see that you ignore. And when a year passed, and then guess what? That same thing you ignored is the same reason why a year, 2, 3, 4 years down the line, you guys end up breaking up. Let me see. Somebody is saying, as a Christian, God has to be in the midst of the relationship, not just quoted, but intertwined with the prayer and the spiritual insight concerning one another. I would also say to have a reputable married couple to mentor you in a religious path and to be purely honest with you. Just a thought. I mean that's true. Like when you're looking into getting married, but I can't make it past the relationship stage. So yeah.
I mean, in all areas of life. So like, let's say for me, I'm a hairstylist, right? I want to be a salon owner. So my first thought with like becoming a full entrepreneur was I need a mentor that's doing what I want. So I sought out someone that literally had my dream in their hands. And I was like, I need that person to lead me. You know, so that's what he's referring to. Like, if you one day desire to be married, you should have
a mentor. Right. I understand what he's saying.
Any area of life.
Yeah, that's true because because it's important. But I think, like as we're saying, some of the most important things is learning yourself and just learning who is in your circle, because nowadays you have master manipulators.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. People just know what to say to get what they want.
They know what to say, and if you're not cautious, you can be easily caught up in a situation that you have no clue. And let me tell you something. When I used to go to my friend and say, yo, I think just something deep is telling me in all aspects of how our relationship was going, people would look at me like, you're what could be the issue?
Wow.
What could be the reason that you feel X, Y, and Z? The reason that you know, but that's why I say intuition is so real, because my intuition, there was nothing that man did that made me feel like something wasn't right.
He never told you like where he lived or anything.
See, the thing is, and this was in some of these things, it was like I said, I was in a space where I was healing, and I was like, I wasn't gonna do certain things. Social media, I'm not doing social media. I'm not doing the house. You're not doing my house. There were certain things that I was using as boundaries, and social media was one of them. I didn't want to be a friend on social media because it causes issue. It causes conflict. It was certain, right? And see, that those were the things that I thought were like, okay, I'm going to use these as boundaries.
It shouldn't cause problems. Social media shouldn't cause
it
problems.
Shouldn't, but it does.
For people that are hiding things, it causes a world of problems. So that kind of like shows you one thing, you know.
But it wasn't an issue on his end. I approached the situation like, I don't want us to be friends on social media.
Man.
I don't want the house thing. You know, it was certain things that
you set those boundaries.
That I set those boundaries.
I'm so sorry you went through that. Can I just say, I would apologize on his behalf. I don't even know the
girl. It was
I'm sorry you went through that.
I have healed from it. It took me a while.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that connection that I had with that person, I have never connected with anyone on that level.
It almost feels like it was a setup, huh?
Yeah, and I was like, damn God.
I know, like, what?
Like, God, what have I done? But I feel like a lot of us women, we go through those things.
Yeah.
That's why I said we have to worry about self now.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I was telling you last night. Like, I'm not going to go into depth with that, but what I was saying last night, we got to worry about us. Because if we don't, nobody else is.
Yeah.
You know, and this is something that I'm trying to teach Talene. Like, she had her own little love experience just recently. I was talking about it.
Talk about
Sorry, Talene, I'm finna put your business out there. I love you, boo.
This is a great example, sweetheart.
But this is just like a good example where I was telling her, like, Talene, don't let them feed your head. You might feel like, so she had 2 guys that was interested in her. She didn't know what she wanted. Taline never dated before. So this is her first experience. I allowed her to have these, friends, monitored conversation. My friend Chantrell said I shouldn't go through her text messages, but
thank God she's open with you.
Yeah.
To share the whole experience.
Yeah.
Like, I was not like that with my mama.
Right. So she was talking to the guys or whatever the case may be, and they're telling her sweet nothings in her ear. So one day, I don't know what I said. I can't even remember. I think I was going out with a guy or something, and I made a comment, and she was like, oh, I don't know what made her say this. She was like, but you don't know what they're saying to me. Like, saying, like, the things that they telling her, like, so now she the shit. She's smelling herself a little bit. So I was like, Taline, chill. You know what I'm saying? Because just because they say something, that doesn't mean that that's what it is. Anyway, fast forward a few days later, she said she was in the cafeteria sitting with a group of friends, and one of the guys that liked her she was sitting next to him, and the other guy must have saw. Mm-hmm. So he went, and I guess there was another girl on the roster. So when he saw that, he must have got upset. He went, and I guess, whatever discussion, so they had, Taline was in practice. She hear the door open. She look over. The guy walks in holding hands with the other girl. Now, mind you, she ain't even know this girl was even in the picture. You know what I'm saying? I had no clue. But she thought, because they was telling her yang, 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 she thought it was just her. I said, when that happened, I said, I'm sorry that happened. Because, this is her first experience. So,
it's a good lesson learned.
What is a lesson learned? Because you thought it was just you, honey.
It wasn't just you.
It wasn't just you, honey. So when you thought that it was just you on the roster, there's a lineup. That's why I'm trying to tell her, you need to worry about self.
Yeah, it's crazy because she didn't even do anything wrong. Like, how was he that insecure that, like, her sitting by another guy made him insecure enough to go grab another girl's hand?
He apologized to her.
You know how guys do that.
They're territorial.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, oh, you want to do that? All right, hold on.
Right,
let me see how you feel. Those little games that guys play too.
Whitney, you say you gonna crash our panel? What's up? What you saying?
Yeah, y'all have any questions?
Yeah, like, give us some feedback, guys.
I do have a question. Mm-hmm. How do you guys feel about, or anyone out there feel about date? Because you were saying nowadays, with men and women, it's getting really scarce. So we have probably 30 women to 1 man now.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. So it's kind of like, and that's why I think it's so easy now. You see, what you won't do, somebody else will do.
About that too.
Right? Mm-hmm. So, and it's instant, like what Taline, the dude was like, okay, you want to go over there? Let me show you how this go. Mm-hmm. Come on over here, honey. So nowadays, women are just settling for anything. So how do you guys feel about women dating married men? Because there's a lot of women out there now. They say it's the best.
See, that's that drug. That's why.
They say it's easier for one. You don't have to worry about that person in your space too much. But because I feel like the men are getting something that they don't get at home, and because the women are so discreet with it, it makes them kind of attach to them more. Right? It's mysterious, so it makes them more attractive. They want to be around them even more. Whereas, you know what I mean? Especially if you're a woman that's just going.
Well, I feel like with anything, excitement is life. Anything that seems like you're sneaking, anything that seems like you're gotta cut corners, anything you seem like you know is just fun to do. Mm-hmm. Just like that song that I put y'all on with SZA, Weekend. I think it's called The Weekend. Like everything about that song. I think it's okay. We back live. Okay. Everything about that song excites me. Like even her talking about hanging out the back, on your lap, we driving, we doing this. It's just an exciting thing, but I'm against it. I don't.
The media is literally glorifying.
Yes. And women are in getting into that space where it's cool now.
Yeah.
Like they don't
That's
care.
the
Like
age we live.
we're singing about being the side chick. Like you're like.
It goes back to knowing your worth.
If that woman is getting everything she wants and more, just the only thing she's missing is she doesn't have the guy. Well, I take that back. What if they have the guy there pretty much majority of the time? Or, you know what I'm saying? Because they basically get, most women nowadays, they just want to feel a certain type. Want to feel great, good, loved, taken care of, whatever the case may be. So if you're getting all of that, you know, to the defense to the women out there that are dating married men, what's the big difference? Because really, if they date regular men, let's just say they date a man that is single, doesn't have wife, whatever the case may be, they're not doing half of what the married man may be doing for them. So, to their defense, what's the difference if I date somebody here that's playing around, doing this, they're gonna probably cheat anyways, where they have this guy that's willing to say, hey, I have over here, but I'm still taking care of home here, and I'm still taking care of, you know.
Yep. Somebody
here.
said messing with a married man can be tragic for someone. I don't believe in messing with. If you're married, for me, that draws the line, because at the end of the day, we're doing all of this while we're young and we're vibrant, we're fresh out here. Most of the times, everybody's young and in that space. But what happened when you get into a time in your life where you want to get married?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I believe
and
in
it gets
karma.
done to you.
Yeah, I believe in karma.
Think
like
of the woman.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, like. That's just wrong, and that's why with that situation, like I said, I could have stayed. I could have easily just been like, you know what, I'm gonna just be there. But
you could have ended up like, imagine if he had gotten married and you still are attached.
Yeah, and then that's the thing, you become attached to these people. Like that's the one thing I don't do is married men is like off my list.
And I think the issue is that I think what in some women's minds, married men probably seem more appealing because they treat the woman as if that's their wife. They know how to treat a woman because they're married to one, right? So their wife expects this and that, and they're treated with love, and it's like, oh wow, I've never been treated this good before. Because like this man, you know, he's displacing his affection. You know, his affection should be going towards his wife because he made that one covenant before God, just them two. But when another woman comes along that's giving him, like you said, the things that his wife is, you know, maybe disregarding and not thinking of anymore, and she's maybe too busy, she maybe with the kids and things like that. This bright, vibrant woman is here. He's going to misplace that affection and put it on this new thing, this new shiny thing, because he doesn't know who he is, number one. Also, if he's not being led by God, this man can be turned in any direction.
Do you guys think that, I know we've heard before, but do you guys think that it's true that a man wasn't meant to be with one woman?
You have some religions that actually do, and that was my next question. Because I was going to say, there's if not even married, but there's men out there that have multiple women. It happens.
I mean, there's men with multiple wives, sister wives.
Anything that is definitely going on. There's men out there right now. Somebody out there right now is in a home with 5 women running around. They all got their bed.
They're all happy too.
Right. They all happy.
Lord Jesus.
Keisha, is your night tonight? Yeah, girl. All right.
And then I've seen shows where they all sleep in the bed together.
Yes.
There's polygamy. There's
and they live a happy life. They good. And the dude, okay, the dude. Listen, he got all 5 of them. He taking care of them. Everybody got cars. Everybody got their own shopping card, credit card. Everybody get their cash. So it's kind of like, well, what are we missing out on? You know what I mean? What are we missing out on? Because it seems like it's becoming harder and harder for people.
Listen, they say they might as well share. They go through the whole
to be
strategy, like, and then it leaves the women out there that is struggling. They're just looking for their husband, you know, like husband.
I've seen a show.
Meanwhile, they're like, why?
I saw a show where this woman actually had 2 boyfriends, and they all live in a house together happily. I use the air quotes with happily, but the men, they're not per se. They say they're not gay, but they all sleep in the bed together. So like the woman in the middle,
I think I've seen that.
Men. I don't know what I was watching. Maybe it was on Facebook. But at the end of the clip, the men, they would start to show a little bit of jealousy. It was just like hidden hints of it.
Yeah.
And festering deep down in their hearts. Because men are territorial. Like, I don't think that we were made to be this way. I really do think that our bodies and our, flesh, everything, our spirit were made for one person. But I think that these people in these different religions and different cultures, they have been taught this way of life. And if a woman is taught from birth that you're going to be with a man that has multiple wives, and you're just going to be grooming yourself to live that way.
Right. Sometimes it is about what
how you're taught.
What you're taught, but I just feel like as we said, like, as women, we need to start to really find ourselves, learn who we are, boundaries.
I just want to see.
Boundaries, like I said earlier, I am learning that boundaries are so super
So come
important.
on now, somebody approach you right now.
Yeah.
Somebody approach you right now. I mean, I'm talking about you build that connection you had that guy, and he's like, look, he tells you up front, I love everything about you. I have what I have. You know, unfortunately, I do have another girl. She does live. She is okay with the simple fact of me being with you. It should be no problems. You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't go with it. And he didn't give you the word.
I'm a very selfish person when it comes to my man.
I'm so selfish.
I can't see me being okay. Okay, with you saying that, what I learned in the last relationship or last dating experience, I learned that there is nothing, if I don't have a connection with you, or if certain things are missing, there is nothing that you can do or to win me over.
Yeah.
I thought, before this situation that I was previously in, I thought that if this guy is doing this for me, that for me, this for me, if he doing this and that, oh, that's it, he the one. And I got a situation where somebody was willing to do things for me, but I wasn't able to connect with him. I wasn't able to feel him. I wasn't able to, like, just, you know, it was just something, it was a disconnect. And there was nothing this man can do, that it was nothing he could do that made that connection come. So if somebody else has something going on that I'm not for, I just can't do it. I have to, I just can't. And this last experience, it taught me that. Because this man would have done anything. And I appreciate him for who he was. He's a cool dude, nice person. You know, I would never say anything negative about who he was as a person. But my spirit just could not connect with him. Yeah. And it was nothing. I don't care. He could have gave me the world. Every time he gave me... And I literally was the most... I was in a situation where I could have probably gotten anything I wanted, but I was the most sad. I was so
just because you didn't have that connection with him.
Yeah, because I didn't have a connection. It was no connection. So because there was no connection, I was so sad. I was lonely as shit. I was like, I could not connect with that person, and there was nothing he could do. It was like nothing that he did, it didn't top nothing. It was just like, it did not let me see anything differently. So my mind is just like that. Like, it's just like that. That's why with the guy, that's why I chose to go my separate way, because I knew that my mind, like you saying certain things, my mind would just play on me. It would play on me. It would play on me, and I'm not gonna risk my peace of mind to have no guy in my life.
Right.
I feel like you're supposed to feel a certain way.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to share something with y'all. I gave it away, so I wish I had to give my book away. But I had this book. I'm gonna buy it again.
She said I gave it away.
I did.
My mom said it was a whole other. You gave it away.
No, it's a book. It's a book. I have this book called Intellectual Foreplay, and I gave it to my friend who just started a new relationship because I thought she could use it more than me. I was single at the time. So I'm still single, but this book is full of questions to ask a potential mate, or even like someone that you're trying to get to know. Like, you can literally just read this book and just learn how to get to know people. And it's so key. And I think it would be really good if we give some really good questions to our audience that you can ask on a first date. I don't think anyone that you don't connect with should ever have a second date. That's just my opinion. First date, we need to get out very specific things that you need to know about a person before moving forward. And I never thought to ask, are you married? Are you in a relationship?
Oh no, I asked that.
Now I know.
That's
simple stuff. Like, you should be
want to
here.
get married.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Do you want more kids?
And I really want, if you're watching currently, throw us some really good first date questions. Please. So that we can like share them with, like, this
throw
little
me
community.
Some really good questions.
My number one thing, and I shared, I have a YouTube channel. It's the Hair Ministry, shameless plug. And I have a video about love, and it's about like loving yourself, loving your hair, and I have a list of like questions that I put on that video. But my number one question was, what is most important to you? And I think that we don't even think about like huge, like general things like that, because it can tell you a lot about a person. Because like, let's say this person says, my atheism meetings on Wednesday nights. Like, whoa! I check please, you know what I mean? Like, you never know what can come out of that person's heart. Oh, that's another thing. Just be very watchful and mindful of what people say, period. Like, let's say you're thinking about going on a date with this person, but they're like, let's say you hear them out with their friends and they talk bad about women. What a person says out of their mouth reveals what's in their heart. And I think that's something we really need to pay close attention to, people's hearts and just what they put out into the world. So, I don't know, what do y'all think are some good like first date questions?
Well, I know I have, I definitely ask about the kids. If somebody wants to have kids, because I'm like, no.
You don't want kids?
No, I don't really want. I have 2 kids.
Oh, okay. I'm like, dang.
Okay. No, but I normally, I put it out there just because I want to hear, like, is that something like, because, some people are like, yeah, it might be. I don't know, it's a possibility. But I'm kind of more like, if I don't, I'd rather not, just because I have grown kids and, those type of things. I do ask if they have kids, just ages,
just to know what they're going to come with.
Right. So stuff like that. And I do ask, probably not in my business, but I like to ask like what happened with their last relationship. I'm like, what happened? And I think that normally tells me a lot, because if you really, really kind of pay attention, even though you can't tell, because they could say anything they want to say, especially when you're not hearing another side of the story.
Right.
But things won't make sense. So if you really listen well, you'll be like, okay. So
and listen to how they describe that person.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
If they still describe that
even how they
person,
talk like they have kids and they talk about their baby.
Oh, yeah.
That's important. But we have someone, a guy that said, Whitney, there is no such thing as a good first date question. Men are trained to say the right things until they get what they want.
Yes.
You have to learn to pay attention to men's real intentions, not what comes out of his mouth. And that is so true.
You're so true. And I'm going to say,
that
why are
is
you
so
telling the
true.
truth? Because, okay, so I had this conversation with someone.
Wait, hold on. Before you go into that, we have another guy that said that's not the case. For every man, and I believe this too, because there are some that know exactly what they need in their lives. That's true. I believe that's true too, because you have men that are ready to get married or ready for certain things, so their intentions,
but you'll know the difference, because with those men, they will already start speaking future to you. So if they start talking future to you, they're asking future questions as well. They'll be more intrigued to ask you questions.
Exactly.
And so then you'll know, okay, this person actually wants something with me. But then, I think what it is, if we do more of the talking, we do more of the asking, because really the man is the pursuer. So you got to watch what they do. So I think if the first sign is if they go out and they start throwing questions at you like, so you want more kids? How do you feel about such and such? You ever thought about moving? How do you like blah, blah, blah? What about school? What you want to do? If you hear them ask you questions like that, you already know, okay, they may be a little intrigued in your future, who you are as a person.
They're interested in you.
But when you
you gotta also take into consideration the manipulators. You have men who knows. I'm not gonna say men, people. You have people who know what to say, what to do. Like, they can manipulate a situation to be what they want it to be. So they know that, okay, women, they want you to seem interested in them and interested in what they do and whatever. They know, just like Whitney said, they know what to say or what to do.
But I think that goes back to what we're saying in the first place. Because like I said, I'll use myself as an example. When I met this guy, the first thing I said is, oh my God, when they told me where they were from. And I've always had this dream like, oh my God, I've always wanted my husband to come from that place, So now they're listening to what you're saying, and it's not like, oh,
you
really?
said that out loud?
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, oh my God, you're from there. I've always dreamt, and I'm like, oh, funny, but I've always dreamt of my husband coming from that area. And then they're like, oh, well, you better not, let up on that, because here's your opportunity. In my mindset, I looked at that, I read that as, oh my God, so you want to marry me. Then months down the line, it changes and they go, well, basically they're like, oh no, I don't want to get married. I'm like, well,
He said he didn't want to get married.
no. So now, and now I mentioned, hey, but you said here, back then, this was the situation.
You remember when you said that one couple
You remember when we said, and then
So they tell you what you want in the moment because they know.
Yeah.
Because they want what they want from you.
Mm-hmm.
And then
That's good
afterwards, they say, so this is what they have responded to. They actually told me, and this is how you know this is the truth. Like, they say what they want to say. They were like, well, you say whatever you want to say in the moment. At that moment, I said what I wanted to say.
So I'm a liar, is what I basically just said.
And then when my response was that, I was like, well, then you lied. And
Right.
No, their response was, that's how I felt at that moment.
What?
And I have the ability to change. People change.
Wow,
Things change.
he's a master manipulator.
So it's like,
there's a key.
So we
I
have
may
some.
change my mind again. So,
Right.
They're
They're telling you what you want.
what
So
you
we
want to
have.
hear.
He was good.
Your circle will dictate your actions, and I believe that wholeheartedly. Consistency, pay attention to consistency, and believe what you see. Important. Thank you, Whitney. That's
Not just what you hear.
you have to believe
You have
what
to
you
see the actions too. at the
Because
same
you know
time.
what we do. A lot of times we disregard what
Yes.
we see. It
Take
be
the
clear,
words.
like in our face.
Eat it up.
Yes, it's
That's good.
clear.
Whoever said that.
And then I don't know how you pronounce his name. Ontario.
Ontario.
Ontario says Whitney, and that's for both sides because not all women have a pure heart, and that's true too.
Wow. Yeah.
That is true too. Like
So
we
you
are
have some
speaking
women
from a
out there
women's
that-
perspective, but you do have women that are not.
They're manipulating.
Yeah, like,
And I
they'll
think
say what they need to
we
say,
are
what they want.
better at it. I don't know if you guys would agree with that, but women are.
They will agree.
We are naturally nurturers, as we're made to nurture, right? So we can see the needs in others, especially men, I don't know, it's just a thing. We're able to see their needs, we're able to read them well. I think people will tell you that they think women are better liars. It's just like we're a lot more calm, like men will just like be all over the place with their mind, but you just be very careful. Men, I tell a lot of people, like I tell men specifically that I care about, like protect your heart. Seriously, protect your heart because you have to know who you're getting involved with.
And that's what I tell my brothers. Like, you protect your heart because I know that just like there are men out there that's manipulators, that's you have women out there too that they're they're in it for they have a cold heart. They don't care. Like,
and men do not heal as easily as women. Like they don't. Like they
You
can
don't
be.
think so?
I
No,
really don't.
men
think so.
have
They hurt deeply.
When they do hurt, when men hurt, the difference we hurt, but when they do hurt, they hurt. So that's why some of them are so cold. You notice with them,
'Cause
they go to
guard
this
it.
relationship. They definitely carry the baggage.
Yes.
They date that one girl, that just turned their whole world upside down. Let me tell you, every girl that come after that, oh my God,
Yeah,
I'm
they're
sorry
in for just trouble.
we may actually give another opportunity. Like you said, we may still have a little bit, but we'll date again.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're like, oh, that one girl came along and she came in here and swept my whole life away,
Yeah.
and then lied. Oh, that's it. For the next girl, I don't care who come along. That's it. Their wall is up, and it's going to be hard. Very, very difficult.
I
right
think
now.
that's because men aren't taught how to process their emotions like we are.
Right.
Like think about a little boy. What do you do when he falls down and scrapes his knee and starts crying? You tell him to
get
man up. Like they're not taught to cry or to like let their emotions free. Like women, we like, oh baby, like it's okay. But that's why I posted on my Facebook the other day, like. A man with emotional intelligence is so rare and attractive to me because they don't know. Like normally, they just don't know what to do with their emotions. They don't know how to express their emotions and to share with you. Like I feel this way. Men are just taught to like, oh no, man, I'm not no, PAN. Like I'm talking about like they're not gonna share that because it makes them feel emasculated, and that's just not the case.
what's PAN?
She meant to be P-U-N-K. No?
I don't want to say the P word, like vagina.
Oh,
yes.
I'm like P-U-N-K. She's such a K.
Oh my gosh, I shouldn't have said it. But it just makes them not feel like they're a man when other men hear another man like share their emotions, and it's just that's not how we should be as humans. We're all human. We all feel
It's sexy when men show their emotions.
Yes, that's why I said that. Like, just tell me
Just
how
not
you feel.
too emotional. Don't be
Yeah,
too
I
emotional.
can't. I can't
I'm like,
with
oh my God,
emotional.
stop, please. But
Yeah, I
you know,
can't.
you
I can't with emotional.
Okay, so what's too emotional?
Too emotional, like,
You like, nah, you can't be coming through acting like me. Like,
Yeah,
you
but
getting
oh my
all
God.
like, no, that's too
yeah,
much.
but
Like,
at least say, I'm sorry. You know,
Yeah,
that's how I feel, baby. Do it a little bit of masculinity.
Yeah, like the
You know, baby,
masculinity.
I
you
guess
know
it's
how I
not-
feel about you. You know I love
Yeah.
you, girl. You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
You know, you like, oh my God.
I guess it's not good when you see a man like blubbering, crying all the time.
Oh, no.
That's
Oh,
not
no.
cute.
Oh, my
I've
God.
had that
Like,
happen to
come
me.
on.
But
I'm
I
glad you
love.
did. He had to go.
Yeah, y'all know who I'm talking about. Same dude I was just telling you about.
Oh,
but yes, he
really?
would cry.
Ooh.
Yes. So it's just all that.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's
when you
nasty.
see an Idris Elba movie and he sheds that like one tear, it's just like, wow, you feel. I love that.
What y'all think about the forehead kiss? Do y'all think it's like endearing? Like
I always thought it was it's deep, you know.
Yeah, I think it's endearing. It's a different type of affection.
Yeah.
But some women can feel like it's a childish thing. Like, am I your baby girl? Like your child? I don't know.
I feel it's
Is it
sensual.
endearing?
Yeah.
It
that-
depends
Like
on
when they
like.
do it, I'm like, did you just?
For me, it's context. Like, did you forehead kiss me after you told me that you didn't want to be with me anymore, or did you forehead
Oh
kiss
yeah,
me?
yeah,
You know, because there could be like a parting, like,
Did you
all right.
forehead kiss me while you was on top of me? And then now the whole conversation I just had about it, I didn't want any kids, it changed. You said you just forehead kissed
Right,
me.
that damn forehead kiss.
That can really confuse you. Like,
Yeah, that forehead kiss. You
Yeah,
know
that forehead
where that
kiss
forehead
messed
kiss
you up.
got me? Was it is it Love Jones or The Best Man? I think it was The Best Man where he kissed her on the forehead, and I think it was Love Jones. No, I don't remember what movie, but that's when the whole forehead kiss came to me. Like, what? That forehead kiss? That you want?
That forehead kiss. That forehead kiss.
That forehead kiss?
Just like I said,
I think people be using, the guys be using it nowadays as manipulating now because they know
Yeah.
about the forehead kiss.
It's
They
confusing.
kiss you on the face. You like, why you kiss me on the forehead?
Yeah.
You know, goddamn well. They be
my
like,
lips are right here.
yeah, they kiss you on the forehead.
That forehead
I think
kiss.
a lot of guys are using it now to manipulate.
Yeah, can a
Anyway.
guy please comment and tell me what a forehead kiss means?
What does
Yeah.
a forehead kiss
What
mean?
is that?
What is that?
It means you
I
cute.
don't think I've ever been kissed on the forehead. By
You
the way.
haven't?
I don't think
What?
it's ever happened to me.
Girl.
That's nah. Look at these lips. First of all,
Yeah, but still, girl, the forehead kiss.
What?
Guys, what is a forehead?
What's a forehead kiss
What's a
mean?
forehead kiss? Let's see what y'all say about that.
Anybody
But what?
wants to be like first date questions? They coming in.
No, nobody gave any first date questions. These are this true, but it takes. What's this? That's true, but it takes a special man to help that man. That's true, but it takes a special woman to help that man to breathe again, and that's mentally and
how men are
internally.
hurt. I
Oh,
think it was
the
hurt.
hurt part. Okay.
Yeah.
We still trying to wait. What's a forehead kiss? 'Cause I really want somebody to explain to me what the forehead kiss is because
If you've ever done it as a man, what were your intentions
Tensions behind it. Yeah, that's a good way to word it. As we're waiting for someone to respond to that, I did want to touch base on the video that I posted just recently on Facebook where the guy proposed to his girl, and he did it in the form of the cops
Oh yeah.
had him down, and then he was down on his knees, and the girl got in between. She was like, "No, I'll get it, back up." She was like protecting her man, and then
That was crazy.
basically when he was down there on the knee, he took out the ring and he proposed. I got a lot of mixed. I haven't got anybody. He's saying no, so I don't know if I guess he don't want to tell what the forehead kiss means. I guess it's like a man's secret. Is that what you're trying to
that
say?
means you've been forehead
Like
kissing
he-
people. You know
Right,
what
you out here giving
what the
things
forehead
like
kiss
you.
The
means.
forehead kiss meaning, like, so I guess that means he's not gonna give it to us.
Is that what the
But
wow.
yeah, so I think that he laughing, so I think that's exactly what he's saying.
Yeah,
He's
he
not
like he
gonna
ain't about
give
to
us
tell
that.
what it is. That's okay.
So okay, so
I just know that when anybody kiss me on my forehead, don't
Don't be confusing me.
Right.
I would be like, what's that mean? What's up?
Right.
Let's talk about that. What was that?
that? So I guess whatever. But so I got a lot of mixed comments. Some people was for it. I've got a lot of shares. Some people were saying, "Nah, I don't want to be proposed to in that way. Don't try me like that. You're gonna scare me, and then you want to turn around and propose."
Yeah.
How do y'all feel about that?
In my mind, when I seen the video, I was like, "That's a lot of emotions going on." Because I'm like, is she
Yeah.
crying because she's like, oh my God, like I probably would have punched him because I'm like,
that was too scary.
It was too much.
In 2019,
emotion.
We're trying not to die as black men. You know, I'm afraid already.
Yeah, but I guess he wanted to see like. But I mean, I think it's normal if you have somebody that's by your side to stand, you know, protection in that form or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, it was way too many emotions. Was she crying because she was like, oh my God, I was fearful that he was almost shot. You know, he could have been shot. I almost lost him. He's my friend. Was she crying because I was like, this is too many.
Well, I do feel like it was a bit much, but I feel like we live in 2019. Everybody's trying to outdo everybody's proposals, baby showers, gender reveal.
Oh my God.
And what I also feel like is, like, for example, dang, I forgot that dude that just proposed to his girlfriend, celebrity, proposed to his girlfriend. They got married. They just recently got married. Is it Kendrick Lamar? And he proposed to her. No, not. I think it's Kendrick Lamar. And is it Kendrick? Whatever. He proposed to his girl, but it was like, I don't know, like in a backyard or something, like it whatever. And everybody was down to him, like, yo, you could have did better than this. It was like, it looked like they was at like a 4th of July cookout. Like it was real, like low key, and you know, he's a celebrity. And people was bashing him like, yo, you could have did better than that. Sometimes you don't know the meaning behind. Like he said, it was a meaning behind why he did that.
Yeah, that's
I think it was like it was a meaning behind
they could have had a conversation about. She said she just wanted around a family. Who knows?
Yeah, so I feel like with that proposal, I feel like it was a meaning behind it.
With the gun?
Yeah, with the gun.
It could be, because he probably wanted to know, how much would you protect me? How much would you be by my side? I need a rider.
Is it the woman's job to protect the man?
It's not. It's not. But
in
that case, and that I don't think he did it in a protection way.
Yeah, I think maybe that wasn't the intent.
I don't think the intent was like for her to protect him.
How much you really love me? How much you? Really
I don't know.
How much you be by my side?
Would you take the bullet for me? Whoa.
I don't know what
that does read. She's a rider at the end of the day. What, like, let's say the story didn't happen that way. What if she like hid somewhere? Would he still have been able to go through with the proposal the same way?
What if she ran off and left him?
Yes,
ran off on the plug twice.
Wouldn't even. That's crazy. I think in my. In that reaction, I would have done the same thing as her, because, like, you know, I would be just like, he's not doing anything. Don't shoot him. Don't kill my future. You know what I mean? But some women don't have that same strength and courage. So
maybe he knew she did.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, we literally are going on 2 hours.
Wow.
Good conversation.
Okay, so this is a good convo. We have 1 hour and 42 minutes. So we gonna
get some guys on here.
I think I'm gonna hit up some guys to probably next week have an episode with a guy.
We need to do it with a guy and really
one guy grill him.
Yeah, and just
Whitney sound like he down to be that guy. So I'm gonna hit him up and see if he's interested. I don't even know if he's still in the Central Florida area, but I'm shouting out the man location.
Who didn't answer the forehead kiss?
Nobody did. Nobody. He put a blessing. So I don't know what, you know, whatever.
Okay.
But
what does that mean, sir? Okay.
But yeah, we're gonna go. So just keep in mind, we are not relationship gurus.
Yeah.
You know, some probably go watch this and, you know, go in on such, you know, especially women who have it all together and locked down in that vicinity, in that department. Yeah. But I know personally, I'm not a relationship guru. I'm literally just, you know, finding and going through my experience and learning. So nothing that we are saying is like, you know, to be taken the wrong way. It's just how we feel as women or what we're going through right now. So it's just our experience and where we are right now in our lives. So yeah, just like a fun conversation. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode tonight. Let me see. Can I meet that person that has it all together for real? People think, you know, people think that they have it all figured out. I feel you, Miss Sandra Brooks. People think they got it all figured out, and we all don't at the end of the day. But you know, I just want to
Nobody's
throw that out there that no one takes anything that we discussed tonight personally or, you know, on a different level of.
If you did take it personally, let us know in the comments.
Yeah,
I want to know.
No,
Let's
down
talk
below.
about it. I would
Down
love to
below.
have a conversation
Please.
with someone
Yes, that would
who
be nice. Actually, can we bring you on?
Yeah,
That's halfway
seriously.
up.
I would
love to hear that.
a different
Dang,
opinion.
I got rid of the oh, okay, here we go. Okay.
Okay, wait
Oh,
till
you
I read
acting
these
like you
comments.
don't know me. Oh, Sandra, of course I know you. At first, but you know, it be a lot of people in here that be having different names. But yes, hey Sandra, what's up, cuz? But yes, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this girls talk episode. I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed having my girls with me tonight. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for listening to the Travel. I was closing. Okay. Thanks for listening to the Traveling Pants of a Single Mom, and we out.
Yes.
Peace.
Bye.
Okay, so all my cameras, hey, y'all see me?
Come on,
Oh,
body.
look, oh, let me, that's that gym. That's what that gym do.